Madam Mayor, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen all, it's my pleasure to welcome you all today to witness the start of an innovative and literally groundbreaking Think Low Carbon Centre. The Think Low Carbon Centre will enable real action to be taken to provide an inspirational knowledge hub for a greener future, not only for Barnsley, but for the benefit of the whole country. It is especially pleasing to welcome Councillor Margaret Sheard, Her Worship the Mayor of Barnsley, to yet another college event. This college has always been fully supported by our mayors, and we're very gratified that Margaret has continued in that long tradition. I'd also like to welcome Phil Coppard. Phil is the Chief Executive of Barnsley Metropolitan Borough Council, and again, the college works in partnership with the council, and we're fully appreciative of the council's support and that of the Chief Executive, Phil. I'd also like to welcome a number of local guests who are joining us from Barnsley and the region, many of whom have been keen supporters of our recent developments, and to pay particular thanks to our partners and funding agencies, without whom this inspirational building would not be possible. Firstly, of course, we have to thank the European Commission's European Regional Development Fund Agency for once again providing the financial backing to support this ambitious and proactive plans for Barnsley College. I'd also like to welcome and thank representatives from BRE, from Jefferson Shared Architects, who are extremely well known to Barnsley College, GF Tomlinson's and SI Seeley. All of these companies have helped to make this project possible, and they will drive it forward to success. Recently, Madam Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, the college was visited by some auditors from the European Regional Development Fund. They had been in Barnsley and other business, but on learning of this project, they asked if they could have a briefing. They visited the college, and as a result of that visit, the auditors were extremely pleased and extremely impressed with the college's vision. They stated that they had been all over Europe, and though there are small projects here and there is nothing anywhere in Europe on the same scale as what we're doing here in Barnsley at Barnsley College. And none of the other small projects are covering the diverse areas which we are covering. The lead auditor was of the opinion that people will actually come here from all over Europe to see what we're doing. He was of the opinion that we could become the Silicon Valley of the North for low carbon, and the college should be congratulated for an excellent initiative. This all bodes well for the future of the project and for the future of Barnsley. As a town with a strong mining history, it is important that we acknowledge and embrace this new direction towards a greener future. It is our hope that this building and the impact it will have will turn Barnsley into an epicentre for regional and national development in eco-friendly building and low-carbon initiatives. I'm now going to hand you over to Colin Booth, the Principal of Barnsley College.
Many thanks, Frank. I'm very excited to be here at the turf cutting ceremony for the Think Low Carbon, or TLC Centre. For me, I'm going to say this was a journey that started about 30 years ago when I was at university. And I know that many of you might think I can't possibly be that old, or how could it have taken 30 years to do anything? But I did a chemistry degree at university, and I got a bit bored with part of it, so I asked if I could do a unit in a brand new school of environmental sciences, and ended up studying energy, materials and society, where we learnt about in the early 80s what low carbon buildings meant. We learned how to calculate U values of walls and all sorts of other things. I even helped one of the other students on the course fit some solar panels to the roof of his house, which at that stage were effectively radiators painted black. But we managed to fit them up the wrong way round, so they pumped heat out into space rather than collected it and put it in his hot water tank. So we learned a few things, but perhaps that wasn't a great start. I also visited at that stage 2 demonstrator schools near Liverpool, which were the cutting edge of technology in low carbon buildings then. And some of the techniques, including heat pumps and heat exchangers and a range of other things, remain the same but have not been used in the construction industry heavily over the last few years, or the last 30 years. I think we're now at a different point in time, and this new centre is about getting those technologies and the improved technologies used and using newer, more up-to-date technologies as well. I have great ambitions for the TLC Centre, and I would like to see the whole of this site developed as a low-carbon innovation park. We're already looking at how to build some Code 4 and Code 5 demonstration houses after we've completed the build of this centre. We've got another series of projects that we would like to develop on the site with our partners. I believe that the knowledge we'll be able to impart to businesses will be transformational and will raise aspirations and have a big impact locally, regionally and nationally. This is an innovative building that will provide a knowledge transfer hub for the whole region. I'd like to add my thanks for the external funding from Yorkshire Forward, from the ERDF fund, 2.75 million from the ERDF for the building. The college at the moment is planning to contribute 1.2 million. I'm going to come back to that very briefly in a second. I'd also like to particularly thank just one person. There's lots of people been involved in this building, but I think Tracy Davis has probably spent more time on it than anybody else in terms of getting us this far. So my thanks to Tracy. The low carbon economy in the UK is worth around 107 billion, and it's growing rapidly. The economic importance of low carbon is one of the few things that the previous Labour government and the current coalition government actually agree about, and I don't think it's going to change. The targets for building low carbon houses and other buildings, I think, are going to remain and are going to be ramped up. I'd like to hand over now to Paul Hamer, CEO of WYG. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lady Mayor, WYG has been involved with Barnsley College for over a decade, and it gives me absolute delight to be involved today in the turf cutting ceremony. At the heart of this new low carbon centre sits probably the largest global challenge that the human race has ever faced, which is one of global warming, one of carbon reduction, and where are we going to get energy from for the next 200 to 300 years. It may feel that stood here today in Barnsley we're playing only a small part, but actually that challenge is going to range right across the globe. As part of what we're trying to do here today with this facility, it's also going to turn the Yorkshire region into a beacon of light inside the UK for leading sustainability. I spend a lot of my time in London, and actually London is starting to turn around and listen and look upwards north, because actually Yorkshire and the Humber, with wind farms, green ecology, some of the alternative renewable energy systems that we're talking about, we're starting to be talked about being a driving force in the UK. And what Barnsley College with its partners is seeking here to do is strengthen that footprint. Why is that so important? Critical creation for jobs. It's estimated that green skills are going to create in excess of 3 million jobs in the UK in the next 20 to 30 years. This centre is hoping to provide skills that disseminate across the industry that could lead to job creation just in the region of up to 30,000. So this is about not waiting for the economy to come back and pick up. This is about stimulating the economy and actually driving forward with the green skills that we can push out into the wider Yorkshire region, but then get it into the mobile workforces so they can take those skills and spread them across the UK. I've always wondered whether sustainability was actually a buzzword or whether people really understood the critical challenge that we faced. It kind of came home to me recently when I was in Saudi Arabia, Everybody will know Saudi Arabia got more oil reserves than anywhere else in the world. I was in Saudi Arabia not to talk about building further oil refineries, but they're looking at building their first sustainable city. And actually, if Saudi Arabia are now starting to twig that there is a major challenge for us going forward, we do need to invest in sustainable and renewable energies, then that voice and that message is just going to get louder and louder and louder. The step that Barnsley College is taking today, I think, is a bold step. But I actually think that what you'll find looking back in 5 years' time is Barnsley will be ahead of the curve, because everybody has to follow, not wishes to follow, has to follow. And I wish Barnsley College all the very best and a great success for this building. Thank you very much. I'll now hand over to Oliver.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll keep it quick, as it looks like the rain clouds are coming in. So I just wanted to put some context and why we're so proud and excited about this project, because it's not just about talking, it's actually about doing. And this is one of the first ones we think is really doing something. The context I want to put on it is in Germany, maybe about 8 years ago, someone decided to turn the gas off on the Germans, and they had about 30 days worth of gas left. And they panicked, and what they developed is a number of policies that required, if you like, local generation of energy and looking at how they could deliver it. What this has meant 5 years, 6 years later is that they now have over 1 million green new jobs occurring. And for that to occur, they needed colleges and innovators such as we have here at Barnsley to make that happen. And so I think, linked to what Colin and Paul have said, you know, we're keen that industry realises that here we're going to make a difference, and we need people to join in with this. And it is starting from the roots of colleges and the skills, but having advice from manufacturers and others on how we make that move. What also happened in Germany is all the manufacturers now, sadly, export most of their products to the UK because they started that process. Now, what our government has done is it's introduced something called feed-in tariffs and renewable heat incentives. And this is allowing now for our market to grow. And I think Barnsley is the first step and will be very closely linked to that approach. And it's for that reason, as BRE, we're very proud to be part of this project and looking towards the future. Thank you very much.
Many thanks to both Paul and Oliver. Can I ask the Worshipful Mayor of Barnsley and Phil Coppard to come forward and join us for the formal turf cutting. After we finish the formal event, there's more refreshments and opportunities for networking back in the Sports Centre. Many thanks to everybody for coming, and I look forward to speaking to you after the event. Thank you.